baby.
I still love that. Such a good intro.
What's up?
Good morning.
Just in time.
I'll start off with good morning and welcome to Podcasts from the Pit. I'm Casey.
I'm Eric.
I'm Rex, 85.
Hey, this is Corps Commander Cody.
On the foot.
Foot 1212. Legend.
Yes.
Yeah.
A legend.
Thanks,
Cody, it's
guys.
very nice to have you on the show today. I believe we met briefly at last year's Joe Fest.
Sure did.
And it was really cool. So we were hoping to get you on earlier. We had a
custom show.
Creative custom show, and we thought you'd be perfect for that.
Yeah.
Well, I think at the time I was doing something that weekend. Funnily enough, after I finish up here, I'll be running off to a toy show. So, I think that's a valid reason to be like, all right, I'll see y'all later. I'm getting more stuff to do this with.
Nice.
Yeah. You do a good job.
Thank you.
Hey, Foot, do you have a computer and phone going?
Just my phone and headset.
Okay, because I'm getting like an echo from somewhere, and last time it was because you had two things going.
What about you,
No.
Ship?
Okay.
I got my earbud in. It should be coming through just through here.
Okay.
I can live with it as long as everybody else is happy.
Yep.
Is it my microphone echoing or something?
No.
I do that.
See, I figured it was me, but I wasn't sure why, because I just got this plugged in here, so I don't know.
So, Foot, you said
I heard it. I was like, oh.
I don't think it is you, Foot.
Okay.
I'm echoing. Cody's echoing.
Oh.
How about me? Yep,
Not
I'm
me,
echoing.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to say hi to the chat.
Hey, say hi to the chat.
Twice.
What's going on?
Because I got the echo. All right, let's look. Chat is moving. We got first up was Beta Ray Bob. Good morning.
Morning, Bob.
In West, Joe 173. Good morning.
Morning, Wes.
Adam Shark Eyes, who actually we need to start adding him to the shame list for not coming to
Yes.
Yeah, apparently he wants to be on the shame list.
Yeah, so it's a shame list, and you
Well,
made it.
we need to pray for him. He had a very important appendage bit off this week by a dog. He said it was a Chihuahua,
So Shark Eyes mentioned that he was here for the Build-A-Bear discussion, but all I can really add to that is I went to a Build-A-Bear one time. It was last year when I was in New England, and it was fine. I mean, I was trying to think of what I wanted to talk about it. I mean, it was a pretty standard retail experience, so that's all I got to say about that. I will say that while my friend was in there, getting her bears fixed, I was next door in this crazy toy store that I didn't know you could just find in a mall. It's like a franchise up in New England, but it was pretty damn cool. So it was like wall-to-wall toys in this small store, so that was pretty great.
last time I was in a Build-A-Bear, we crashed their computers twice. We built the first time we built around 20 bears. The second time we built 30 some bears.
Goodness, jeez.
We was doing it for Shriners up in the burn unit up in Cincinnati at the time.
Oh, okay.
So, morning, Peter Malone.
Good morning, Peter. Hey, always good to see you, Lilith.
You need to
Morning,
do
Lilith.
a build a Joe table at Joe Fest.
Yes.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Foot,
Buckets of
you're in
arms and
charge of it.
legs.
You are
Now,
in
I will
charge.
say at Joe Fest, there was, oh God, I'm trying to remember his name
Yeah.
here. James Hitchcock, the guy that runs Black Glove Mafia. He had like a big bunch of parts stuff going on. I remember like I had this bag. I only just recently started using some of them because I wanted to keep them all together. But anyway, so he had a bunch of body parts and stuff. So I like went through and picked out stuff there. So that was sort of like a build a Joe table almost.
Yep.
Definitely.
Good evening, Ronnie.
Ronnie Trick Shot.
Not me.
Campbell, good morning, evening. Lair Bear, what's up?
Howdy. Yeehaw.
Hey, good morning, Nate, the Retro Tinker. He's been doing some really great videos. He's doing like a Wild West Motu of his friends. And I've seen part one where he's making Adam from Go Figure. I need to see part two. It's really good.
When I went to a toy show the other month and I found a Rio Blast that I've been looking for. And like the first thing I did with him was I posed him on the car and he looked all cool. So I made this fake movie poster. It was like 310 to Eternia or something.
Oh, that's
That's
cool.
probably one of my favorite things I've ever done, honestly.
Nice.
Morning, Zazel. Or evening.
Zazel. Oh, and here we go. Off course. So good to see you.
Morning.
Trying to see if anybody else snuck in. Chat's going pretty good. Hard to keep up with. I love that.
Yep.
Looks good to me too. Yeah.
I need
like
to
being
get to
in
where
the
I can.
chat.
Oh, here we go. Good morning, guys. Sneaking in without saying hi. Good morning, guys.
He's running around with his Hydra Viper.
Look.
Bob, that was a really great table. I went back twice because I couldn't just go once. Like the Marauder table was just amazing. Like before the show, like I don't know about y'all, but like Marauders are okay, but I got really back into them once Joe Fest came around because I got to actually like ordering them online is one thing because you don't know how it's going to work until you get it in hand. But like being able to build it, the Marauder table was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like 2 or 3 of them. I don't even do Marauders. It's just fun to make a figure.
Oh yeah, yeah. You're just like, oh, well, I guess I'll get this and this. Even my buddy that doesn't really collect figures, he built 2 with me. So like, yeah, we were all in.
Yeah, I agree with Bay Bob. I hope they do it again this year.
Yeah. Lord willing and the water don't rise, I will do that at least a couple more times. I did it once last year, and I was like, man, I should have went back and done another one.
I don't know. My money might be taken up all by Delta 17 this year, so we'll see.
Yeah.
I wonder what's cool coming to Joe Fest this year. I mean, in general, I know what to expect, but I wonder like what's special this year. I know Larry Hama's going to be here this year, so that'll be pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, Podcast from the Pit will have a table.
Ah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll be giving out freebies, possibly a giveaway or raffle.
Mm-hmm.
And let me see what else. Maybe even bashing the Bengals and the Reds a little bit. Casey's on mute, so he can't defend himself.
I said that wouldn't be good for you. Good morning, Phil. So good to see you.
Ronnie Trickshot and Adam from Shark Eyes will be there.
Well, that'll be pretty cool. I mean, Ronnie's coming all the way from Australia, yeah.
Yeah, same with Shark Eyes. They're going to like piggyback together, and
Yeah,
they're going to
ride their emus all the way across the ocean.
Yeah.
If there's, and I'm sure y'all can agree, but like probably the best thing about Joe Fest was just seeing people in person for the first time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was like my buddy that I was with. He was like, "Well, Cody, you're like a celebrity. I didn't really expect all that. I didn't think everyone would know who you were." And I'm like, I guess that's how it goes. But yeah, it was pretty fun.
I seen you at the first trade night, and I was like, Cody.
That was really exciting. I was like, "Oh, this is Eric. I know exactly who this is." So
Yeah,
it was fun.
weird
morning,
hillbilly
Jim.
looking guy.
Last year was my first year at Joe Fest. Now only like a handful of like the podcasters and whatnot.
Thanks,
Now
Campbell.
now I know like 30 different people probably I see at
Yeah.
Joe Fest. This will be fun, much more fun this year.
Feels like I've got even more people to meet this time. I don't know, but
Had somebody holler at me. Me and Casey was going down the hallway, and somebody's like, "Hillbilly!" I was like, "Hey, hey, 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 hey."
Well, it's not like you can hide who you are. As you start talking, everybody knows. That's hillbilly.
Yep. Well, that's how Hans recognized me. Bless his
pretty
heart.
sweet. I should have got one of those Marauder hats last year because my friend got one, and I was like, you know what, that is pretty sick. So this year, I think.
Ronnie's correct. We are insufferable, but lovable.
Yep.
100% true, Ronnie. We just want you guys there. If it can't be this year, start putting some money back for next year.
Yep.
We bully you out of love, Ronnie. Okay.
Right.
And I told you and Adam, all you gotta do is fly
to be
Diego
fair,
Airport.
talking about like Joe Fest and all, I've only been looking forward to it since the last one. So
Exactly. After one time, I'm like, I gotta go back.
As soon as I walked out the door, I was like, oh, I'm ready to come back.
right. See, like now we're 2 months from it, and I'm like, oh man, it's getting so close. Well, like a month and a half.
A month and a half, really, yeah.
Yeah, so it's coming.
Ronnie, if
Man.
you and Adam come on our way to Joe Fest, we will swing around and we'll pick up 73 Lair Bear. He's got to go.
So when they come to Joe Fest, they also gotta stop by a Bucky somewhere along the way.
Yeah.
There's no Bucky's on the route unless I go
Yeah.
get Larry.
I think there is on my route. Yeah.
There's at least 2 on my route. I'm really excited about it too.
I don't know how far the Florence one is from Augusta, but I think it's kind of out of the way. I don't know.
I'm thinking it was like an hour or better, or
I
like
can hit
100
the Bowling
miles or
Green
something.
one and the Daresville, Georgia one.
When we went to Joe Fest, we went to we went to this Flying J gas station, but which I had never really seen before. But what I thought was neat was that attached to it was a Denny's, and we're like, oh, okay, well, it's always open. We'll go into Denny's, but I thought it was pretty damn good, so I was glad we stopped.
You can't go wrong with the Denny's.
I know for me, when we got to Augusta, it was really funny to like travel right across the South Carolina Georgia border, and then it was like, bam, that's Augusta. Like that's it. So, like, I was going to stay with a friend of mine in Atlanta. I was like, hey, well, maybe I could come over there, and she's like, it's 4 hours for me. It's the same distance from Augusta to me as it is from her to them. So, I stayed at home.
Joe Hunter's passing 3 or 4 Buckies on the way. You guys can text him your.
Well, I love those peanut butter medallion things. Those are pretty great. So
Need some brisket.
Oh yeah.
Hey, the echo's gone.
Is it because I'm not talking?
No,
no, you're good.
It's gone now. Yeah.
It
might
is me
be on
then.
my end.
Huh?
It must have been me.
No, it may have been on my end because I had a couple phone calls come in, and I hung up on them because I don't recognize the number.
Well, let's just be happy it's gone. Not worry about it.
Right, true.
Yeah.
So, Cody, you've never been on the show before. I don't know if you've seen it, but welcome.
Thank you.
And of course, Foot, Rec,
Mhm.
you guys are awesome. Thanks for coming back again.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Before we
having
get
me on.
into our topic, I'm just going to give you guys a heads up that I am unprepared. I did not do my homework due to work restrictions. So I will kind of moderate it, pull up the chat, and talk and ask questions.
Let's do it. I hope the chat made up some file cards. I'm interested to see what these guys came
This
up
was
with.
actually a lot of fun.
Hey,
Alpha.
Alpha.
Hey there.
Me and Alpha have been working on a top super secret mission.
Top
Maybe Alpha
secret.
can make some of these into actual figures for us.
What's going on, Papa Bear?
Speaking of that,
What I was thinking, between all, we like all these great customizers. Maybe we could get a figure made, between
Yeah.
all you guys.
Yep.
That'd be pretty fun.
I'm going to start off show and tell because I got to get the Motu section out before we lose people on the screen.
oh,
So I'm going to bring my picture big real quick.
We're dropping viewers now.
Hello. What I got was cartoon collection.
Ooh.
I got this Skeletor. It's supposed to be like a ghost Skeletor.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
I've seen
and
pictures.
I watched a good review of them from Manchild, who does some amazing videos, and you could shine a light behind them and it goes through. It's really cool. So that's from one individual episode of the Filmation. I can't remember the name of it right now, but it was a good one.
honestly,
you call
that figure's
yourself-
worth it just because the vintage one is so dang expensive. Like we're talking $400+ I think, for the vintage Scare Glow. It's crazy.
Now, this is from the Princess of Power collection, Frosta.
Never heard of her.
Yeah, she has ice powers, Frosta.
Ooh. Imagine
But
that.
as soon as my granddaughter's old enough, we are playing together.
Yeah.
Something I've noticed from my buddy Keith McCleary, who has, the She-Ra collection that I know of. Every She-Ra girl is like, I'm do-a-thinga. Like, we've got Castaspella, Netassa, Frosta. All the girls' names are like, this is what I do. Which, like, I guess that's Motu, but still,
Also, don't want to miss Johnny Thorson. Good morning.
Yeah, boy.
And my last figure for the week, and I may not have one for next week, but I am going to a toy store today, so you never know. Buzz Off from the cartoon collection.
Sweet.
I love these Filmation ones, and I will go all in on them
So
until they stop making them.
what Mondo figure are you picking up this week?
I don't know. It is where I got my last Mondo figure, so.
This is
Buzz Off was one of the few Motus that was at my house when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, somebody got it for my brother, like, a birthday gift or something accidentally. What's this He-Man?
Yeah.
But it was like our only one.
I had Buzz Off. He was okay. The claw hands kind of aggravated me.
They're cool. They got, the big wings. It was pretty fun.
Yeah.
I like the elevating to prominence of like the only figure that you have. So like, I'm trying to think of an example from my own childhood. Well, like, okay, so back in '98 when my dad took me to Toys R Us for my birthday, I got the October Guard set. So like Colonel Breckhoff was like the dude for me. Like, I didn't have Duke or Flint or Beachhead or any of the classic G.I. Joe leaders. I'm like, well, Colonel Breckhoff is like the highest ranking Joe member I have. So, that's kind of what.
That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you, Phil. The Filmation line is amazing. I will, like I said, that's one line I'm all in on. Anytime they release one, I'm definitely there for that.
So I'll go next with Joe and Show and Tell, or Joe and Tell, however you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
And I got quite a bit of stuff in the mail this week. So the first thing I got, getting back on the stand here, James Passman, still a big kid, picked up a set, and he sent me the Flint.
Oh, nice. That's
It's from like the Danger on the Docks set or something
Yeah.
from the
Yeah, I was
50th
thinking that was
anniversary.
like,
It's in the 50th
Yeah.
line with the Stinger and the
Yeah,
Cobra diver in the boat, whatever.
yeah. Vamp 2.
Like modern era, huh?
Yeah. And then Gary from Chaplin's Assistant Motor Pod sent me a figure I never had, and I didn't realize how cool he was. Airtight.
oh, okay, yeah.
You say
Got-
he's pretty tight.
Yeah, he is tighter than bark on a tree. I never had him. Never realized how cool he was. And then I went on a stress shopping spree, and I got a Delta Trooper.
Nice.
Nice.
Delta 17 has entered the chat. And Marissa Fairborn, aka Kestrel.
I love the Delta 17 figures so
I do
much.
too.
Mhm.
They have really done such a good job with their sculpting and
Yeah.
like the fact that you can store pretty much everything on the backpacks on
Yep.
those figures. It's just amazing.
Yeah,
And
this podcast.
and then the last thing I got, I can't show it because it's outside. I got the title for my truck in the mail this week.
Great.
Nice. He drops a
Oh,
hard bargain.
okay. Bring it, Ronnie. You and Adam. Come on. I'll even dress up as Duke. Come on.
Oh man.
I'll be a fat Duke. Short, fat, bald-headed Duke. It talks like a hillbilly.
I gotta say, I didn't know how like rampant it was going to be, but I was very glad that I decided to dress up at Joe Fest because I just had the idea like I'm going to be some like C, D tier Joe, and I found out a way I could be Skid Mark rather easily, and like that was really fun
Yes,
to do.
good mark I mentioned. Yes.
That's great.
The only
You're-
problem was the dang baseball helmet's too small, but other than that, like I think everything turned out pretty great.
I remember
Well-
seeing that now. I forgot about that.
Still big kid's working on a custom of Skid Mark, and he's asking what we should name it. And I think I said Randy. And he's like, Randy Blowout Harper.
Blowout.
Jump straight from the Skid Mark to the Blowout. Never
Like,
give a get a blowout.
As soon as someone customs that Scarlet Skid Mark, let's put on a shirt or something.
Crimson Skid Mark.
That's it.
I love that it's the same tier of name, but different than the original.
If I get my hands on another Skid Mark, I will do the custom Skid Mark, or the Crimson Skid Mark. I've already got the paint pattern down, what I want to do. He'll be marbleized. He'll look beautiful.
Just couldn't splatter it.
No.
Ooh, the splatter camo.
Yep. Yep. I was actually going to try that. I was going on the top super secret thing that me and Alpha's working on.
Mhm.
I was going to try that. I was going to try doing Foot's spray in the air technique and let it just mist down on it. But things were going sideways here, so I'm not able to do that now.
I saw Bob's comment about Chuckles is the easiest Joe cosplay. True, because you just have to order the right Hawaiian shirt and you're generally good to go. Now,
Yep.
see, when I saw a dude that was dressed as like Blizzard, especially when it was like 104 of God's own degrees in Augusta, I was like, no, this dude's doing a great job, actually.
Yeah.
So,
I tell you what, when it gets to 100 degrees in Augusta, I usually do not leave the convention center.
well, like, I think we were going to go eat a burger. There was a really great burger spot, and I wish I could remember what it was called, but it's right by the con center. But I was waiting for my friend there to come by. I think this was after the custom class, maybe. But anyway, I saw the sign. It was like 104, and I'm like, oh boy, you know, that's boy. I had to take a picture though. I was so excited. I was like, oh great, I'm gonna die probably.
I didn't think it was that bad down there.
It wasn't last year.
No, last year was great.
A couple of years ago, I was melting. It was terrible.
Huh.
Oh, toll booth. All the time, toll booth.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
See, I would say toll booth, but like I've never been a construction worker, so that's stolen valor. But like I probably could do armadillo because that would be another one nobody would expect either. Like and that's just you get a different baseball helmet. It's the same thing. I mean, I could do like a. Yeah,
Welcome,
I mean,
Adam.
I got it.
You're not
Armadillo
yelling
base.
this thing. We're still running one.
I wasn't really a construction worker. I was working on a water line one day and got blowed out of the ditch. So that kind of sucked.
Let's see. Shark Eyes. Yes, there is Waffle House
Oh,
very
yeah.
close to
Oh,
the
yeah.
convention center. And
Okay.
Every
Hillbilly's
street
never
corner.
been either. So
Shark-
come on down. We'll all go.
Really? You'll be going to
Sarcas.
Waffle House?
Fly into Yeager Airport. I will fetch you.
Got to
It's
get
only
the
like-
country ham.
I
Oh,
haven't been to Waffle House in a while. I want to go back.
I've never been to a Waffle House.
Only been one time.
We've got one here in town. It's in a what's the best way to describe this building? Like a cigar. Like it's real short and just going this way. But that used to be the place where everybody would like. There was a club here in town, and that's where you'd go. 1, 2 a.m. So yeah, I've been there before, but it's been a while.
Yeah, we have two in town, and they're both delicious.
Never have been to one.
They used to be called waffle steaks. Then they got bought out by Walmart. Or not Walmart.
That'd be interesting. The Waffle House.
I mean, Walmart buys everything, so they run the world. Them and Amazon.
Yep.
But there's also, I took Hillbilly to a little place in South Carolina for breakfast.
Yes.
I think it was Sunshine Cafe.
Yes.
Okay.
Sunrise
So
Cafe
good.
or something like
Yeah.
that.
So
yeah, I
good.
heard of that.
It was amazing.
It's
I
like 5 minutes.
ordered 2 waffles, and the lady looked at me and was like, "Are you sure?"
It's
I was like,
always a good sign.
I was like, okay. And then she brought it out to me, and it's like the size of a platter. I hammered it down. I was like, I could probably go for another one.
That's good. I think I've not been to it in many years, but there's a South Carolina restaurant. I think it's by Myrtle Beach or maybe North Myrtle or something. But anyway, it's the Golden Griddle restaurant, but we always called it the Golden Girdle. But it's another like cheap restaurant where you get a lot of food for a little money. But it was very good.
Cool. So, are we ready to get on with our?
Hold on. Hey, Bob, are you talking about Beamies? Because that place is amazing.
Yes.
That's always our Friday night dinner.
Yeah.
Sometimes Saturday night, too.
I'd even go there for breakfast, man. Like, give me a stack of fish, and I'll hammer it down.
Does it,
Love fish.
Rexha, Foot, Cody, you guys got anything for show and tell?
Oh, yeah.
I was hoping they'd be here, but the Heavy Armor toys aren't going to come till Monday. So.
Not anything new and exciting. I picked up a big boa from that show with a hose. I was happy
Okay.
about that.
Nice.
You are correct. Big Boa is not very exciting.
No, I got a Night Force Falcon for $7.
That's not
Hey,
Nice.
that beats my record because I went to another show here locally, and it was that one I showed off in my photo the other day. Like it had everything except the antenna, I think, maybe. But anyway, it's like $25. I was ecstatic. So $7 is pretty great, honestly.
Yeah.
I knew this guy didn't know what he had. He had like some little bucket of like junk, and I was just like, oh, a Night Force Falcon in the junk bucket. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How much you want?
It's like, I guess I could take this one. How much?
Yeah.
It's like, well, all right, 7. For 7, I'll do it.
Yeah.
7's pretty steep. 5?
It's the damn tariffs. It's the tariffs. I'm telling you.
I didn't haggle.
Well,
Once you get the deal you want, you just go.
I gotta say the Lucy dealers and the sellers were really cool though. I was buying a couple of things. I had, the left hand was like yes, and the right hand was like maybe, and they just threw in a lot of, take those for free. I was like, cool.
Yeah.
I love those.
I like to shop for beaters. I paint them also.
Yeah, no, that's great.
At the last
When they're beat,
PowerCon.
nobody wants them.
Yeah.
Give me you're tired, you're rubbed, and you're worn.
That's my style, man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
At the last PowerCon, I was digging through a peg of loose figures in bags, and I found a grunt, and he had both of his thumbs.
Ooh, okay.
He had his PP, but he was in two pieces. His O-ring had gave up.
I love it when they're like, "Oh, sorry, it's broken. He's come apart," and it's like, "It's cool. Don't worry about that."
And he was complete. He had his gun. He had
Oh, wow.
2 backpacks and his foul card. And
Not bad at all.
they had 50 on him. And I was like, oh. And I held it up, and the guy's like, 40? I was like, sold. And I brought him home. I think he's even a straight arm. I brought him home, and I put him together, like, real slowly pulled that new O-ring up through the crotch.
Mm-hmm.
He was like he's never been played with. I was like, man. I was so scared I was going to break him. But he's in the cabinet of honor now.
Good.
All right. Before we jump into our topic, Eric, why don't you? This was your brainchild, and it sounded a lot of fun. So, why don't you explain what it is?
Okay.
And we'll either start with you or Rex ship and work our way around.
All right.
And remember, I'm unprepared and did not do my homework, so I will do what I can and pull up comments and all that.
No toys for you today.
No
toys for you.
I don't know. I'm going to the Toy Pit. If anybody's ever heard of the Toy Pit in Indianapolis, it's amazing.
So, the topic today is Creative Cobra, Creative Joe. I thought, how cool would it be to sit down, and I've done this a few times, and I actually cheated because I went back through Instagram and ripped off the ones that I've done previously, and sit down and actually create a new Joe or Cobra you would like to see him use or make. And so that was my thing. And instead of like making a figure, do the file card, because the file cards were always really cool. So in my opinion, I mean, I always really liked the file cards. That's what sold me on some of the figures, was the file card. I remember getting Flint, and I was like, he's a warrant officer, so he's a bounty hunter. I didn't know what a warrant officer was. I played like he was a bounty hunter. He was going after Joes that went AWOL.
That's kind of what he did in the Renegade.
It's awesome. Definitely.
I agree.
But
a dumpy sculpt can be saved by a good description.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And like, whenever I got Alpine, I was like, this is really cool. I need a Mountaineer. And some of the other ones, I was like, yeah. Then I seen Duke, I was like, garbage. But like, light this dumpster fire up.
Poor Duke.
Yeah. But that was my idea. And whenever I'll go ahead and I have 4 of them.
Mm-hmm.
I've got 2 Cobra and 2 Joes.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So I'll read. How y'all want to do this? You just want to do yours and then do one at a time, or just all at once and then talk about them?
I say you do yours.
Okay.
We can talk about them, move on to the next person, because I've got some on a video, remember?
Yeah, that's right. So, okay. I want to start with my Cobras. First one, his name's Boomslang.
Mm-hmm.
Real name, Benny Weeks. Primary specialty, engineering, demolition. Secondary specialty, infantry. Birthplace, Johannesburg, South Africa. Boomslang started out with the Red Shadows as their engineer. After being recognized for his ability to look at a structure and destroy it in just a few moments, he was quickly recruited by Cobra to be the answer to the Joe's engineer toll booth. Boomslang is immune to several types of venom after being bitten by so many snakes while building on some of the most inhospitable swamps in other areas of Africa. So naturally, he uses deadly venom as a weapon against his foes. Take extra caution around his coated bayonet. From the Files of Flint, this is one smart snake. If you build it, he will destroy it.
Well done. Well done.
Nice.
Sounds pretty neat.
You don't have to lie to me, be my friend.
When you were talking about the poison immunity, I was like, oh, this reminds me of like Valor versus Venom. That would totally be a thing where it's like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
Dr. Mindbender pumped this dude full of snake DNA, so he's cool
Yeah.
with that now.
Well, and I've seen people that will, in order to get immune to venom, they'll take small doses of it and
Mhm.
build their immunity up. So, and then here's one. My next one, he's a Cobra. Code name, Kraken. Real name, Nick Coffee. Birthplace, unknown. Primary specialty, underwater demolitions. Secondary specialty, sabotage. Kraken started off life in the Navy SEALs wanting to truly be the best of the best. He joined Cobra, who promised him to be the best of the best. On top of his SEAL training, Cobra took him beyond that. He is what they based the EEL program on. Torpedo. I know Kraken. I went through Bud's class with him. My understanding, Cobra even used some cybernetics on him. The man is a true water predator.
I like
Thanks,
that.
Joe.
I always like the diver ideas.
Yeah. And somebody in this chat, in the group, has the Kraken figure, by the way.
Yeah, they're pretty neat.
I'm not sure, but his name may be Foot, or as I like calling him, Nick Coffee.
Yes, I
Oh.
got him.
I see.
I had the Kraken out a few
Now-
weeks ago.
Now I understand the references. I see.
I like naming them after people that I'm friends with.
Oh, trust me, Eric. I had a dude that like I was trying to think of what his name would be, and I had a massive headache, so his name was Mike Grain. I was like, whatever.
So,
Coming up with the real names was harder than the code names.
Yeah,
Yeah.
honestly.
yeah.
Jim, Bill, no, Rick, no.
Yeah.
I'm like, this
So-
isn't a Jeffrey, you know.
Yeah. Leroy Jenkins. Okay. Name, Forrest Rollo. Codename, Death Druid. Serial number, classified. Grade, classified. Birthplace, classified. Primary specialty, infantry. Secondary specialty, herbal medicine. Death Druid is a descendant of the famous Viking Rollo, the first ruler of what is now Normandy. Wanting to keep the family tradition of being a warrior, he joined the Marines. Upon leaving the Marines, he goes to Louisiana to study herbal medicine and survival. Being approached by Gun Ho, he entered the Joe team as an instructor and primitive weapons expert, training Joes such as Outback. From the files of Gung Ho, Death Druid is one of the most intense Joes we have. With his two sidekicks Bjorn, the Black Wolf, and Evner, he is unstoppable. So this guy has two wolves, and actually sent Death Druid to my friend Forrest, and he's a retired Marine, and he's like, oh my gosh, I've got my own Joe now. I've got my own action figure of me. So that was an honor to do that for him. And then my last one, Oh, this is a zinger. Code name Sharper. File name Harper Shannon. Rank former Crimson Guard. Primary specialty navigation. Secondary specialty accounting. Sharper is an expert at navigation, and when the heat is on, the best to get you and your crew in and out of a bad situation. Being a former Crimson Guard and working closely with the Crimson Twins, she is a huge asset to the team. From the files of Sergeant Slaughter. If there is truly a fearless member of the team, that would be Sharper. I've seen her in really tight situations, and she led her team into and out of the danger zone without losing anyone. I'm glad she's on our side now. If there was a third MOS for her, it would be keeping Hillbilly in line. I don't know what she sees in that idiot.
Excellent work, brother. Excellent work. Let me grab the Kraken. I want to show them the Kraken.
Ah, cool. A live demonstration.
Yeah, well, it's not a pretty figure, but I had fun. It was one of the first customs I did.
Ah, okay. I was like,
No
I remember
way,
all
man.
of these, but I didn't remember Kraken.
They went bonkers over last week.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Really?
He's marbled. You have to really be on it to appreciate it, but man, the marbling is incredible.
I designed it after like the camouflage dive suits, wetsuits.
Yeah.
It was fun to do.
He's excellent, man.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of anybody better to send him to.
I appreciate it, brother. I've gotten quite a few of your guys out there, like First Customs or something. It's like,
Yeah.
my honor to house them in my collection.
Well,
So
for me,
Lilith
I
wants to
just
know if anybody said the magic word tonight. Skid mark.
That's
Yes.
true. We did.
It did happen.
Yes.
You'll have to catch it on the rewind.
yeah. It has happened a lot.
Hillbilly made that, Adam. That's the Kraken to go with his file card. I'll be expecting that file card in the mail any day.
It may be on a sheet of 8.5 by 11 paper, but I'll send it to
That's
you.
good.
Adam thinks it looks phenomenal.
Thank you.
Let's
Was
see.
good, man.
Rachel says, I got one code name B Slap. That's hilarious. Nice.
The slap update.
Keep his wife's name.
Sucker slap ninja technique.
And Adam Baum Custom says, great work, Mr. Harper.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so
Blind
who's
squirrel will find a nut from time to time.
Rex Ship?
Sure, I can go next. I'll pull up my picture up here. I've got one of each, and then I also have an addition from Joe's Oscar Mike. So, I don't know if y'all can read that, but hopefully it came through.
Love it.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is my G.I. Joe character, codenamed Chow Line. I think maybe we can make an actual post on the podcast, the Instagram at some point here. So I can see it, but
this is the first one. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. Either way. Yeah, so I decided the Cobra guy I wanted to do, his new code name was Berserker. He is from Tonsberg, Norway, and he is a former Viking captain who, frankly, just got tired of the Viking life. It got boring for him, so he decided to venture off to the Americas, where he ran into Zartan. And Zartan gave him a proposition, and he accepted. So now Berserker is this brute, giant, hulking Viking man on the Dreadnought team. And Zartan sends him in frequently to just wreck the place, frankly. So, yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, he looks very cool. Let's see.
It's very good, man.
Yeah.
I dig it. That's cool.
Yeah, this is my GI Joe guy here, codenamed Chow Line.
Love
He
it.
is a
Love it.
culinary specialist. I was going to be funny just because culinary engineer, but culinary specialist is actual MOS. So
I like that.
then his secondary specialty is SEER, so he's a survivalist and all that good stuff. So basically, he's just this really old guy who he's been in the culinary side of the military for a while now, and he can whip you up something in a jiffy, no matter where he's at, what y'all are doing. He can find something to make it feel like home. So that's he's known for being able to just like, I don't know if you can read the little blurb at the bottom, but basically it's Hawk talking about Chow Line can make it feel like home when you're so far away from it, just with a good hot meal. So and then also obviously he can help you out in a pinch if you're ever just in the wilderness. So I thought that would be a fun addition.
Of course, says it's his kind of Joe right there.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
And Larry Bear says, living in Memphis, you have to be a survivor.
Yeah, I have I had a list of like what he would come with and stuff. Like he would come with a bunch of like field kitchen stuff, like a hot plate and like a little tiny portable kerosene or not kerosene, whatever the fuel, whatever it's called.
And Rachel says, Chow Line says, if it bleeds, we can cook it.
That's awesome.
Exactly.
Yeah.
These are great. There was one more, I think.
Yeah, next one. This is from Joe's Oscar Mike. If y'all follow his channel, he has a separate account for his Miss Fang. She's a tattoo artist and sorceress.
Yeah.
So she's the Cobra tattoo artist, essentially, who also dabbles in the dark arts. You've seen her from time to time in his fights and whatnot.
Uh-huh.
And so she can bring people back from the dead and all this fun stuff. So yeah, I'm not doing it justice for him, unfortunately, but
Love it.
his is a bit more readable than mine. But yeah, she's pretty fun.
Oh, yeah.
Try to think of how to say it, but like putting tattoo artist first before sorceress. Like I'm trying to think of another like front-loaded thing like that. It's like, well, I'm a basketball player, but I'm also the president.
I love that. I love those. Those are awesome.
Very good.
Neat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just very, very cool. And I feel bad that everybody went through all the effort. And I couldn't. Ugh.
Well,
That was extra effort with the actual visuals, man. That was good.
Yeah.
I have let everyone down this week.
No, you didn't.
No, you're fine,
No.
man.
I was going to
I'm
say,
extra.
Eric did your shares. It's all right.
I'm just extra.
Well, when Hillbilly was like, I got an idea for a show, I'm like, great. Because sometimes Hillbilly gave me an idea for a show, and I'm thinking in my head, that's not going to work. But I know it's going to. Because we have a group of people we can reach out to.
Yeah.
And they're going to make this special. And as soon as he said the idea about foul cars and create this and that, I go, hey, ask whoever you want on. Just make sure you ask Rex shit. Because
I appreciate that.
He'll have something for that.
Right.
But yeah, you guys have been killing it.
Oh,
All right, who's next? But
I'll go, yeah.
you got you want me to make you big? Do you have something to show off, or are you just gonna read?
No, I just read. I don't have any visuals for us today.
That works too.
If I had a few weeks in advance, I'd have created a figure or something, I suppose.
Right.
But
Yeah,
being that I do make all kinds of maybe strange characters sometimes. Code names are tough, and then the whole extra along with it, man, I just can't do it. You'd think I'd be better at it.
I love this comment.
Oh, no.
Rachel, you are killing it today. I love it.
I love that. Hep C. Rub some dirt on it.
All right.
I got two going on. I got a Joe, and I did a Dreadnought too. Also, I didn't want him to be a full Cobra. I felt like he was more like somebody that they called on the side. But first, we got a G.I. Joe Tech Operative, codename Broadcast, file name Casey Wheeler, place of birth classified, primary military specialty communications, secondary military specialty network development. Operating out of the fourth floor of the pit, Broadcast collects multiple eras of technology and integrates them into the system. When the lasers are blasting and the bombs are exploding, the G.I. Joe team members count on Broadcast for a clear line of communication.
I love that.
Nice.
Dag
Very good.
gone.
You know what's
That
even
was for you,
best
Casey.
about that? Breaker was
Keeping
my
us
first
together,
Joe.
bro.
Breaker was my first Joe, so I always had that kind of love for that character, and that meant a lot to me. Thank you, love it.
Breaker right there.
Yep.
I watched those G.I. Joe almost animated, and Cody does the voice for Breaker
Okay.
Nice.
I was
on
like,
most of them.
on my end, I'm on the other side of you, so I was like, wait, he is pointing to me, right? Like, so, it was a little confusing at first. Yeah, if you want to check out the G.I. Joe almost animated comics on YouTube, we dubbed G.I. Joe #1, and so I got to do Breaker for that one. That was really fun. Like, I enjoyed doing all of that stuff. Actually, there's a couple other people that did voices for it. I'm trying to remember because at the time I knew some more, but like if anybody knows Doc Sewage on Instagram, I know he did some voices in an episode. There's somebody else I feel like that I knew that lent their voice to it. But anyway, it was a real fun project to do.
That was smoking.
I love watching those. They're great, man.
It's pretty neat.
All right, second, I got a Dreadnought. Codename Dirtbag. File name Greg Alexander. Birthplace Cleveland, Ohio. His specialty is disposal. Dirtbag is Cobra's cleanup man. After any heist or operation, Dirtbag and his network of crooked blue collars use any means necessary to cover up, hide, or dispose of anything or anybody that might expose Cobra's involvement.
Nice.
So does he use the
I like
dreadheads?
that.
That's a wrap, dudes.
Man,
Cool.
you brought the
Yeah, I was thinking of, just somebody that comes in under the scenes. I wanted to
like a
dig
cleaner.
a little deep into the roster. Cobra's low men.
Kind of like the role Stephen King played in Sons of Anarchy. Come in and got rid of that dead body.
I did not know that Stephen King was in.
Yeah, it wasn't like picturing uniforms or any kind of really diabolical character. I just thought, let's dig deep, find these underlings that Cobra has working for him. I figured he had to be a Dreadnought. He must report through Zartan and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, and Larry's got one like the wolf in Pulp Fiction.
Right,
Wolf.
exactly. That's exactly what I thought of.
Or
He is. He's like a dirty scumbag version of Wolf. Yeah.
or
One
like
of-
one.
That's his greatest acting job ever. Harvey got that was the wolf. I love it.
We gotta make broadcasts. That sounds like a cool one to make.
Yes.
That
We'll
would
make
be
it.
awesome.
Send it to you, Casey.
That would be amazing.
To answer Ronnie's question from earlier there, because my wife is asleep and my dogs will bark. That's why I'm in my car.
Oh,
I have the perfect Casey Wheeler head. We're gonna make broadcast for sure. Now that I'm thinking about what's in my collection, he's got a nice long beard. It'll be
Nice.
sweet.
Can't wait to see that.
Here's one
Genghis
from Atom Bomb.
yeah, I was just reading that.
Scottish
Genghis Khan.
bounty hunter, general psychopath, nicknamed Genghis due to the high body count. Nice.
Nice.
Yes. Yes.
I love that. I was just thinking, whenever I came up with this thought, I was like, if Hasbro would be watching, what is a figure or character you would like to see them produce or put out?
Mm-hmm.
So that was basically my whole thought process. And I know Hasbro ain't going to be watching this, but
We
That's
don't
a
need
given.
Hasbro.
I think the
so far,
closest I've gotten to Hasbro was like I saw Mark Pennington, and like that's pretty much it. So
so so far the ones that would have been produced would have been Rex Ships and Joe Oscar Mikes and Foots, and we're going to see about Cody's. Most likely Cody's as well.
I don't know, man. Boomslay's pretty great.
No,
Come on, Hillbilly. You did good.
well, I mean, yours have been produced. I mean, Foot was showing
well,
off yours, so
I was
Kraken's
meaning
been
what
produced,
Larry
man.
said.
Yeah, you actually
I,
have it. So
I
I was
got the
meaning
prototype.
what Larry put down here.
I think it's perfect.
doing them dirty.
No.
When I was making these, I was not thinking about the Hasbro aspect in mind.
Really.
That could have changed how I maybe made some code, or maybe I could have come up with another one. But
I was saying this just yesterday to somebody that was asking about creative and stuff, and I don't know about y'all, but like I get the most creative when like coming up with the whole setting or rules or whatever, that's difficult. But if someone has like an established playground such as GI Joe or like other franchises, I'm like, cool, I know what the rules are here, I can do like something that fits along with this. So my thing is like if I have like a fandom and like I see a niche, I'm like, okay, cool, I can stuff all of my ideas in this niche. Like that's the most fun for me.
Yeah.
So that's why I do this basically.
Yep.
I
Well,
think you have a lot of creative talent on your end, Cody. You definitely have stories to go along with your figures
Yeah.
most of the time. You have your own code names most of the time. You have ideas before you're even like making them, which I think is fantastic.
well,
That's
I,
kind of
well, and
why I
that's
contacted you.
well, and that's sort of the theme of today. Um, so I'll go ahead, I reckon. But so in addition to the theme of create a guy, I also had a sub theme in that I wanted to showcase two guys that are not your typical Cobra or Joe aligned characters. So I do actually have visuals for both of these. The Cobra character is one I made back in 22. Pretty simple dude though. It was just a worm's body, and I took the M Bison head and I painted him orange to match the worms.
Hmm.
And so I'm trying to remember. I believe his name was Colonel Stafford, and so he was a leader of a worms unit. So Colonel Stafford's story was that he previously worked for the military. He went to like VMI. He was a real expert in armor, and the reason he was brought to Cobra is his daughter was sick with a terminal disease that was not able to be cured by conventional means. And so Cobra, seeking his talent through like a headhunter or something, said, "Hey, we'll pay for your daughter's treatments and you'll come and work for us." And he said, "Okay, sure." He began to see America as this corrupt, taken over by large corporations such as insurance companies. And he said, "Fine, let's turn it all, burn it all down." So he joins Cobra, and his daughter passes away shortly after. However, he's now in this contract with them, and he's got to give his services to them. So he leads a worms battalion, and he's sort of struggling with I don't know, the moral complications that he's found himself in. But I thought that was a pretty fun little. I mean, it was literally just a basic repaint of an M Bison head, but I was like, let's make this a little more interesting. So
Deep, man. No, the story makes the difference.
Yeah.
I thought it was fun. So I have him somewhere, but I think he's like in the other room in a box. So anyway, he's a pretty basic image. However, I do have an image for the next one. So this is one that I was thinking of, and this is one that I've built so far.
Oh, that's cool.
So I was thinking to myself the other day, like, man, G.I. Joe Renegades is a really good like concept to me. I said I kind of hate that they're already a team, and I don't know if you guys. Well, I'm trying to think of what this thing is on socials. So it's Scott or Animated Taco, but he was telling me, he's like, dude, go for it, because like think about the Renegades. Like nobody really cares about Red Dog or Taurus. Mercer's so popular, he sort of graduated into his own echelon. So, like, make more renegades. Like, it's cool.
Yeah.
So this fella is a mercenary I made named Jackal. And he is a former, well, he's a soldier of fortune. I was thinking he could be from Norway, but I don't really know much about Norway, so I might redo that bit. But anyway, Jackal is a man that has led small arms units for a number of governments and a number of political parties, most of which no longer exist. And he is a consummate professional. You know, he's I'm trying to think of more details about him, but you know the phrase that there's no old or bold, no old and bold mercenaries. Well, he's just old. He's been around it for quite a while. So he's the leader of this renegade unit, just to, he's got a lot of experience. The government has complete deniability over his actions. They're like, oh, we don't know this man, throw him in prison, kill him, whatever, who cares? But he lives for that. So that's the character that I'm building. It's a little more mature than like, I read up on the Renegades file cards because I was curious. Mercer, as we know, is a former Cobra Viper, which I think is a really interesting story.
Yeah.
And then, Red Dog had a football accident, which is kind of like in the scale of things is not really quite the same, but I don't know. And then Taurus was actually a member of Interpol, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, well, he's a good guy as far as I know. But yeah, I was like, I need to make some more, not evil guys, but more morally gray sort of dudes. And actually, if you're interested, I'll go ahead and tell you about the other two that I'm making. I don't have them with me, but they're downstairs, so they're formed. So the other two guys that I have, the other guy he's a former Navy SEAL. His code name is Outrigging. He is a former SEAL, former martial arts instructor. He's probably the friendliest dude of the three new renegades, but he would also drop any personal connections within like 30 seconds if it meant accomplishing the mission. He is the sort of guy that, and this is a real incident of his, when it came between choosing the lives of civilians and accomplishing the mission, he accomplished the mission. He was on a contract when he had to catch a target, and he had to choose between catching the target or letting civilians die in an explosion. He chose quite readily to catch his target. So he's a guy that's you can't get attached to. He's just, look, it's all about getting everything done. The third fellow that I have is a fellow named Torque. So Torque is a former Russian political prisoner. He was in a well-off family. He was imprisoned unjustly for, his family's activities, something he didn't really have anything to do with. And whether it was due to a guardian angel or some sort of clerical error, it's not really clear, but he was released from prison. And once he was released from prison, now becoming a young man, he actually gave the government a reason that he should have been in prison by becoming a gun for hire. He was smuggling in guns from the Black Sea through Russia. So he's this physical powerhouse from being in prison all this time. You took a man who had done nothing wrong, and now you've built him to do lots of things wrong. So that's his thing. I feel like he's got some Taurus vibes to him, but I don't know. I really enjoyed building those characters. I thought that was fun. So y'all will see them eventually.
I love it, man.
Awesome.
You're deep into the psychology.
Yeah.
Beyond deep into the story. I love it.
Yep.
Well, I never do things by halves. That's my problem. So
not a problem. I mean, his focus is a great thing, and
yeah,
Larry says he loves your creativity.
Thank you, Mr. Larry.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I totally enjoyed that. So I'm ready to make them once I figure out what the heck color they're going to be. That's the worst problem for me.
I love that they're like existing in your mind already, man. They're already a part of G.I. Joe, and you're just spewing it out like it's everybody's story that we know already.
Yeah.
Well, I try to be convincing. I'm like, oh yeah, don't you remember from Special
You're
Missions
very convincing, bro.
37?
Good.
If I seen any of the figures on the peg that the characters were read off today, I'd buy them.
Well, of
I
course,
think we
because it'd
done
be like,
good,
oh my
guys.
God,
We
GI
done
Joe
good.
in Walmart.
Yeah.
Right.
What was that one from Gaz?
I'll throw it up again.
That was a good one.
I'll look back at the chat. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys.
Nice.
Nice.
Genghis McCann.
Ooh, nice. This dude's highly trained.
Yeah.
Phoenix. I love it. It's a great one.
Can I
Right.
shout out another creator that I think does a really good job when it comes to thinking up stories and such?
Always.
Okay, so I have to shout out my buddy Jonah Hardenbrook or Jogan Warrior. You can go to Joe Customs. So the fun thing about Joe Customs is that like when you go there, it's like you're going to get a virus, but no. Like when I go to it, it's like, hey, sorry, the ticket for this website is out of date. I think you're mostly okay unless it tries to sell you a free iPhone. So like, just be cautious. But Joe Customs has an amazing repository of ideas. I remember once I went through the entire figure archive of Joe Customs over like a year or so. Like I just went through everything except for the snake eyes. Because there's like 25 pages of snake eyes. I was like, bro, like there's no juice in here. It's like trying to get water from a stone. And no, that's not true. Honestly, one of the guys that had one of the best snake eyes that I ever saw was Jonah. But I love Jonah's figures. He's got lots of he's got a lot of repaints of other characters, but he does also have a lot of original characters as well. And his stories are really great. There's been some of his characters I've just been compelled to make for myself because I'm like, dude, this guy is awesome. And I remember I think he approached me maybe about trading, but I was like, bro, I would love nothing more because I love your characters. So for him to be like, dude, I want some of your dudes. I'm like, well, I want some of your dudes. It's like just amazing for me. In fact, I've got some of them around here. I don't know if y'all want to see them or not.
Yeah, the Joe Gun makes great figures, man. I know you're influenced by him a lot. Me too.
Very much so. Seems like every post I make is like, well, this is a Jonah Hardenbrook idea, and so.
No, there's nothing wrong with that, man.
I think as long as you give proper credit, it's okay. So I've got some of them here on hand, and I've got some more in my. Y'all remember the 92 case, the green 92 case from Hasbro? I've got a bunch of customs stored in there. So let's see. I think this is okay. So we got 2 repaints and 2 originals, but he did this quick kick that I really love.
I dig it.
He famously does not like quick kick that much, but I think this one turned out pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
I also like this one. So I guess I'm not like a quick kick hater, but I'm not a quick kick liker either. So,
Right.
Agreed.
So then there's a wetsuit that he did.
Nice.
That's cool.
Sort of a Battle Rangers 95 vibe, which I like a lot. I think a lot about what could have happened in 1995 for sure. Maybe it's because I was also created around that time, but it's just something for me. So here's one of his original characters. This is a guy named, oh God, I just had it and then I forgot. Oh man, Nomad. Okay,
It looks like Hillbilly.
it does look like Hillbilly
With a red
doesn't it?
beard and hair.
That's an awesome
I
one.
like that.
So this fella Nomad, I believe he is a Cuban mercenary. I'm trying to remember. Or no, sorry, maybe he's from Colombia. But anyway, I think he was watching like a show or something, and he's like, you know what, I want to make a dude like that. So enter this fella. And then this one. Actually, now that I think about it, Off Course wanted me to. Well, he wanted to buy him, but I was like, no, this is my buddy's. I have to like make you a new one. So I made him a Nomad. He should have one. And this fella here is 6-shooter because he's got his own little holster and everything, which I thought was just amazing.
Yes.
And like, I didn't pick any of these guys. He just sort of, I just said, well, whatever you're cool with giving away, that's fine with me. So I was, ecstatic to have received these because I just love these guys. But yeah, I really love I love your mind. Lots of good stuff, I think. But
That's
yeah,
awesome.
Very cool.
I think if
Very
you want to, I think everyone should plumb the depths of Joe Customs, risk the computer virus, and like be inspired by like 20 plus years of creativity on there. Because like there's posts from like 2003. I'm like, dude, you took this on a potato like way back when, or like actually, so if you don't mind me saying somebody else that I really admire, Chad and Matt Smelser, who are doing Legends of the Hidden Forest, the ninja line. So they have their first work on Joe Customs. It's like
nice.
Chad Ghost and I forget Matt's name. I think he usually went by Mayor. But anyway, they got some of their stuff on there. And like, no kidding, I think their stuff is on like a scanner. Like they just put the dude on a scanner and like, and then that was the picture. Like, oh, it's so... I just wish I'd been able to participate in that community. Be like 2003, I was like 11. What was I going to do?
So I do have a figure I need to write up a file card on.
Oh, yeah?
And it's this guy right here. He's an Alpha One Creations original.
Okay.
And matter of fact, his name's Alpha One or A1C. He's a robot assassin.
Yeah.
I remember this cat.
And I love it. I've been fiddling with him. Oh, yeah. Okay. So there was a boat. It took up both sides of the road going past our house yesterday. And I sent Aaron a picture of it. And I said, this thing was massive, big old boat. And I said, I don't know where this thing is going because there is not enough water in this area to float that rascal. I said, it must be going to the Ohio River or something like that. And I got a message back from Aaron. He was just like rolling, laughing. I guess, hillbilly speak, but hillbilly speak and hillbilly sound like idiot. But
at least you're not an idiot. That's the thing.
yeah,
Right.
But I was laying it on thick for him in the voicemail.
As I think you should.
And then I sent him a video yesterday. I was at work and I took a video of outside and it was just raining. And he's like, wow. He said, that's impressive air. Casey ain't never seen a boat on a semi-trailer in the mountains of West Virginia. This is true. That was my first time.
Yeah, sometimes I see people like around here because like I live in a similar area, I think, but you see people with a boat and it's like, where do you go? Like, where do you take that?
Well, a big old monster pontoon boat just went by there a minute ago. I have no idea where they're going.
Actually, talking about close boats, there's somebody that lives right down the road here. We have 2 ponds here. I should really take more pictures of those for my Joe stuff. But I was looking at the boat. I'm like, you could put the boat in the lake, but I don't think like it's big enough for that one. So I'm not sure what their plans are either.
And yeah, I think that was the boat to get Ronnie and Adam to Joe Fest.
That's right. Hop in. Let's go.
Yeah.
This is the Manta Ray.
There, grab Lilith, bring Lilith too.
Mhm.
Maybe go over to New Zealand, pick up Campbell and Quentin.
Yep.
And I would just love to see all these guys there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I saw Lilith. She asked earlier if we used to draw our own Joes and stuff. And, being the artist kind of thing, I got to honestly say no. I actually never did draw my own judge. I remember drawing his tanks a lot.
Yeah.
What I do remember, one character for sure that my older brother and I created was a stick man on one of those flip pages. You draw them on the bottom, and we'd go back and forth drawing. He'd draw one side, I'd draw the other side, but our two characters would like battle each other as you flip the book. But our character's name was Stuntman. And as we grew, my older brother, he took this character Stuntman to like a whole new level, all the way to space, in fact. But he's drawn like multiple storylines and comic books to this character called Stuntman, which kind of, it started off as like, like tanks and stick figures battling each other on those flip books.
Okay, so I'm glad you mentioned that, Foot, because that takes me back. Back in 6th grade, we had to do like accelerated math and accelerated reading, which is like basically you go online and you take a test and see how you do, and like if you get enough of them, you get points or whatever. But I always print out this result sheet so you can hand it to the teacher. Should be like, okay, cool. But so I was in 6th grade. I had 2 of my best friends with me, and we all sat at the same table. And we all started drawing each other like as Stickman characters. And like at the time, like Halo is popular, like all these war games are coming out and stuff. And so we had like this entire saga of us like as characters. And like from what I remember, we started off, as you said, just like real basic, like dudes with guns, tanks and stuff. And then like eventually went to space and we're like battling like, Covenant forces from Halo and whatever. But like I remember what was it? So I know my buddy Jacob, like he became sort of like this assassin type with like energy swords and such. But like my character development was I lost my arm and I got like a gun arm like Barrett from Final Fantasy VII or something. But man, I just remember like I've got some of those, but I don't have nearly enough. A lot of them have been lost to time, but it's man, I remember enjoying that so much. And I can still tell them to this day about like, hey, you remember when? And they're like, oh yeah. So definitely can relate.
Staying up late with this Kiwi.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Kiwi.
Yeah.
Thanks for.
So we're getting ready to wrap it up. I just want to say thank you to you guys for coming on. This has been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
No, thank you, man. That was great.
Also,
thanks for coming on.
If I've been doing a little side project on here where I interview my friends. I've got like 7 or 8 done. If anyone is interested in doing an episode with me, just, email me at podcastfromthepit@gmail.com. I'm not looking for people who, hey, I got a channel. Let's do. I do this to get to know my friends better. And anything like that, I find value in. It's fun.
Sounds good. I'm in.
Yeah, that'd be great. I did. Me and Ronnie's went up Wednesday night.
I watched it. It was great.
Yeah, it was great.
Good.
So that me and Rex Shift's got one coming out in a few weeks.
Cool.
Joe Hunter 73. But I'm always looking to stay a few weeks ahead. So if anybody wants to record a video with me, let me know. It's just fun.
Absolutely. We can get that done.
Yeah, let's get ourselves added to the queue, Foot.
It's Pulitzer Prize winning material.
I'm a hard.
It was.
He asks all the difficult questions, like what's your social security number, what's your routing numbers,
what's the 3 numbers on the bag, right?
What's your mom's maiden name? Stuff like that. Just, you don't have to worry about that.
Winner of the Caldecott and Newberry Medal.
So, Rex Ship, where can people find you at?
I think you can find me at the same username on Instagram.
Nice.
All kinds of good photos.
All kinds, yes. But where can people
Put
find
1212 on Instagram. That's it.
Monday Night Figures? Don't forget that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Got to join in, guys.
The event. So let's see. I'm Core Commander Cody on Instagram. If you also are a part of the big ARA Facebook group, I do occasionally post in there as well. So yeah, keep on the lookout.
Yep.
And most importantly, find me at Joe Fest because I'm excited.
And now less than 8 weeks.
That's right.
A month and a half. Let's go.
I will be there on a Thursday, so
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Thursday. Let's get dinner or something.
So at the podcast from the pit booth, there will be Foot 1212, Wreck Ship, Cody, 73 Lair Bear, Ronnie Trickshot, and Shark Eyes.
It's a big table. We'll all be there.
Yeah.
And we're going to be right next to Chaplin's assistant motor pod. So if we need to crowd in there, he's cool with it since I'm on both shows. It's all good.
They even felt pity on me and had me on one of their episodes.
That was a fun one.
That was fun. Even though y'all called me a psychopath.
I'm just going to go ahead and plug Chaplin's assistant motor pod. Gary, it's his show. But last year at Joe Fest, he asked me if I would be his co-host. I was honored because I've been listening to the show for years, and he's just one of the best guys doing. He's 95% podcast. He'll put out one live stream a month. I'm trying to get him to do more on YouTube because I think he would kill it over here.
He does. He does a good job.
But to everybody in the chat, thank you so much for being here today. I unfortunately have to go to this amazing toy store, so I have to get off of here.
Yeah,
I got to put some pictures of it. The outside, they got murals outside, like Sailor Moon and all kinds of stuff, and some pictures. I'll try to put some pictures up on Instagram today.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll post them up.
Yep. I feel the same way. Like I said, I'm about to head out to the toy show, so get some more ideas.
Go get some bodies.
Uh-oh. Look. Yep. And I love what Lair Bear said. More Motu coming, maybe. I don't know. Let's see what they got first. If there's a Joe that I don't have, that's key, I don't have, and it's my price, I will, of course, buy that.
I don't know. See, I love Joes that I do have, which is the bad thing. I'm like, hey, I've already got this guy. I know I like him. Let's buy him again.
Well, I'm that way of true builders.
I do that too.
I do.
And if I had your guys' talent, I would buy him and make him something else.
Yeah.
Mine is Ozone 1994, which is a really expensive dude. And I'm like, I don't need another one, do I? And then I have three. So
One more.
It's just like that meme of was it Bilbo from what could it hurt? What's the problem? That kind of thing.
All right, and everybody watch our new outro. We have a brand new outro thanks to Mr. Ronnie Trickshot.
Oh, sweet.
Later, everybody.
Thank you.
Take care.
See y'all later.
Ronnie, Sharky.
Have a great week.
A1C.